Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you my top 5 tips that finally helped me push into the 512 grade. The first 512 ever in America is generally considered to be a climb called the Thimble, which was first done in 1961 by John Gill as a boulder problem. In the past 60 years, climbing grades have been steadily pushed upwards, but for me at least, 512 still represents that barrier between your average recreational climber and your serious, dedicated athlete.
I'm an athlete.
When you first start climbing, your training target is fairly large. Essentially, any climbing related activity that you do will make you better at climbing. However, as you move up through the grades, you need to become more specific and deliberate about how you structure your training. In other words, the training program that got you up to 510 or 511 won't necessarily get you to 512 and beyond. So that brings me to my first tip, which is analyze and target your weaknesses. It's easy to go into the climbing gym or out to the crag and just work on things that you're really good at, but if you really want to reach higher grades, it's important to be honest with yourself and take a good look at your weaknesses. If there's a particular style of climbing you don't like slabs, it might mean that you need to work on your footwork and balance. Or if you don't like overhanging routes, maybe that means you need to work on your pulling strength and power. For me, I knew my endurance was lacking, so I made a point of bringing in more endurance workouts throughout the week, even though they're boring and hard, and I hate them. Ask a friend to watch you climb, film yourself, or take any of these climbing fitness tests that are available out there on the internet to help pinpoint your weakness and then alter your training plan accordingly. Tip number 2 is focus on technique. Climbing 512 requires efficiency, no wasted movement or energy. It's important to go back to the basics and focus on efficient climbing movement. Get on a systems wall or an easy boulder problem or route and take time to practice and ingrain efficient movement habits. The time to practice moving efficiently is not when you're at your limit on a difficult project. So pick easy, comfortable holds when you're practicing these things. In addition to efficient climbing movements, you should also practice finding rests, work on your speed and precision, and work on not over gripping and relaxing on holds. You may have been able to rely on pure strength to get you up to 510 and even some of the low 511 grades, but beyond that, technique plays a huge role. My third tip is specificity. Climbing is a very unique sport, and so in order to make sport-specific gains, you need to spend more time actually climbing versus doing other unrelated activities like excessive running or lifting a lot of heavy weight. In addition, you should think about your goal route when you're structuring your training. For example, if your route is thin and crimpy, you should get on small crimps on the hangboard. If it has pockets, you should hang on pockets. If it has large, powerful moves, you should think about practicing explosive pull-ups or get on the campus board. Tip number 4 is taking a look at the strength to weight ratio. Climbing is ultimately a strength to weight ratio sport, and oftentimes we get focused on attacking the strength side of the equation while forgetting about the weight side of that equation. While it can be a touchy subject, shedding a few pounds will improve your climbing performance. To be clear, I'm not recommending indiscriminately cutting calories, but odds are if you take a good hard look at your diet, we could all cut out a little bit of unnecessary junk food here and there to shed a couple pounds. This last tip was a game changer for me, and that's building out your route pyramid. What is your route pyramid? Well, say you want to climb 512A. You should first aim to climb 2 511Ds, 4 511Cs, and 8 511Bs. The point is to get in as much mileage as possible and get comfortable moving over terrain that is close in difficulty to your target grade. I know I used to get laser focused on that magic 512 number, and every time I would go to the crag, I would just warm up and then hop right on my project and get frustrated as I fell again and again. Don't skip ahead. It's important to be patient, slow down, and work on filling out your route pyramid. Climbing is ultimately a technique sport, and the more time you have practicing different movement patterns over different types of rock, the better you will become. So, to recap, my top 5 tips for overcoming that 512 barrier. Number 1, analyze and target your weaknesses. Number 2, take time to focus on the basic technique. Number 3, be specific with your training. Number 4, clean up your diet and attack the other side of the strength to weight ratio. And number 5, get in volume through building out your route pyramid. If you found this video useful, please consider showing your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel to stay informed about any future videos. That's all I've got for this video. Good luck, happy climbing, stay safe, and most importantly, stay adventurous.